Part 1. The most expensive tax in trading is not money. The most expensive tax a trader pays is not the losses shown in their trade history, not drawdowns, not blown accounts. It is the wisdom tax, the years you spend paying to learn lessons that could have been understood in just minutes if someone had pointed out the right blind spot. Because money can be earned back, but lost time combined with false beliefs that get cemented after each loss is what slows you down for years. Some losses look small on the surface, but they drill into your psychology. They create fear, erode confidence, or worse, trigger the urge to make it back just to prove you're still right. And that's when the wisdom tax becomes more than tuition. It becomes the cost of fixing habits that were formed because of the tuition you already paid. Most traders spend years repeating the same loop. Enter, hope, fear, break rules, regret, repeat. Not because they're stupid, not because they lack intelligence, but because they haven't seen the patterns operating beneath their own behavior. You can be very intelligent in real life, yet in trading, the brain doesn't prioritize being right. It prioritizes emotional safety. When the market moves against you, your brain asks, how can I feel less uncomfortable right now? Not, what is the correct decision according to the plan? And every rule-breaking action is simply an answer to that emotional question. Closing early to reduce pain, moving stops to escape being wrong, adding positions out of hope, or avoiding a perfect setup because you're afraid of being wrong again. The difference between a struggling trader and a consistent one is not indicators, strategies, or timeframes. It is the right insight understood at the right time. Because trading is a game of repeated thinking. You repeat the same type of decisions every day. If your core thinking is flawed, you will recreate the same mistake in countless different forms. Changing indicators is just changing the color of the shirt. If underneath is still a belief system built on fear, scarcity, and impatience, you will still press the wrong button at the critical moment. How many times have you looked back at a losing trade and thought, if only I had understood this earlier? Anyone who has traded long enough has felt this. Sometimes a single correct insight is enough to erase years of unnecessary losses. That insight is often not advanced at all. It can be something very simple, like trading is probabilities, not predictions. Or, my job is not to win every trade, but to execute correctly. But until that sentence truly sinks in, hearing it 100 times is just words. Only after you've suffered enough do you finally understand it, and that is the wisdom tax. It's as if all traders are playing the same game, but only a few are holding the real instruction manual, while most learn by endlessly paying tuition. And that real manual is rarely about setups. It's about managing psychological state, same setup. One trader enters with small risk and acceptance. Another enters with this trade must change my life. The long-term outcome differs not because the market favors anyone, but because their internal strength and decision-making mechanisms are different. The paradox is this: these insights are not secret. They're always right in front of us, just obscured by false assumptions about how markets and the human brain actually work. Trading is not just reading charts, it's reading yourself. You're not only learning what the market might do, you're learning what you do when the market does something you don't want. And once you truly see that, you'll understand why the wisdom tax is the most expensive one of all. Part 2. The mental model, a trader's invisible operating system. The starting point of any lasting change in trading is not a trading system. It's your mental model. Your mental model is like an invisible operating system running all your trading behavior. It determines which setups you notice, whether you can wait or not, whether a trade feels likely to win or destined to fail, how you react when the market moves against you. In simple terms, your mental model decides the lens through which you read the market. One trader looks at charts to find opportunity. Another looks at charts to find reasons to be afraid. One sees a pullback as normal. Another sees it as the market is attacking me. Same data, different emotions, different behavior. The problem is, most traders have never questioned their operating system. They're like fish unaware of the water they swim in. You don't notice the water until you leave it. You don't notice your mental model until you observe it as something operating not as who you are. And once you can name it, you gain the chance to change it. Two traders can look at the same chart at the same moment and see completely different possibilities, not because of personality, but because of mental models. A common example: most traders view the market through a scarcity lens. If I don't enter now, I'll miss the opportunity. If I don't trade today, I'm wasting time. Scarcity makes not trading feel like loss, when often not trading is the correct decision. Scarcity creates discomfort with silence, forces action, and creates impatience with waiting. Yet consistent trading is the art of selection, choosing when to enter, choosing when not to, choosing when to reduce size, choosing when to stop. What happens if you see trading as a game of selection, not constant activity? Not trading more, trading less but better. Trading less doesn't mean fewer opportunities. It means less noise, fewer pressured decisions, less emotional bait, and most importantly, space for correct behavior to repeat instead of impulsive behavior repeating. Waiting is not doing nothing. Waiting is a skill. It's the ability to feel FOMO without acting, to see others post profits without jumping into trash trades, to keep your mind clean so when the real opportunity appears, you're not tired or doubtful. We spend years learning indicators and setups, but won't spend a few hours understanding how the trader's brain behaves under pressure. The truth is simple. Your mental model is either a bridge to consistency or a wall that keeps you stuck. And that wall is rarely lack of knowledge. It's how you interpret experience. Lose a trade, is it I'm bad or a probabilistic outcome? Miss a trade, is it I'm stupid or I protected discipline? Change the interpretation, and you change the operating system. Part 3. Deliberate discomfort and mirrors. There is a major trap in trading. You cannot see your own blind spots without a mirror. Observing your mental patterns without tools is like trying to see the back of your head without a mirror. That's why growing traders use reflection tools. A mirror can be a journal, checklist, error log, or a repeated question before clicking the button. Am I entering because of a signal or a feeling? If this trade loses, will I still be calm? Does this decision resemble past mistakes? One powerful tool is inversion thinking. Instead of asking, how do I win more? Ask, what behaviors are making me lose consistently? Often, winning comes from stopping wrong actions, not adding new correct ones. Stop 3 things: entering due to FOMO, moving stops out of fear, holding losses out of hope. And performance changes dramatically, even if the system stays the same. Another tool, challenging beliefs with data. Not to feel better, but to see more clearly. If you believe the market always hunts my stops, test it. Where is your stop? Is it structural? Are you entering late? Is it too tight because you fear loss? When beliefs meet facts, you move from victim to adjuster. These upgrades alone can completely change how you approach the market, but they require something most traders avoid: deliberate discomfort. Discomfort admitting you're wrong. Discomfort not blaming the market. Discomfort staying flat while others brag profits. But inside that discomfort, traders mature, because maturity in trading is emotional maturity. You no longer need the market to validate your worth. You don't need a winning trade to feel competent. Executing the process correctly becomes enough. Part 4. Attention. A trader's most valuable asset. If there is a form of capital more important than money in trading, it is attention. We live in an environment designed to fracture a trader's focus. News, Telegram, Twitter, Discord, forecasts, calls. Ironically, no one teaches attention management, only capital management. But managing capital without managing attention is like pouring water into a bucket with a hole. Fragmented attention leads to poor decisions, less patience, more doubt, time frame hopping, constant need for confirmation, trading noise instead of structure. You may sit in front of the screen the same hours as another trader, but how you use that attention determines the outcome. A counterintuitive but crucial insight: the power of intentionally not knowing. In trading, knowing too much is often more dangerous than knowing enough. Too many scenarios, too many opinions, too many forecasts. Eventually, decision paralysis. Intentional ignorance means filtering information to protect clarity. Not because you're lazy, but because you respect focus. Wisdom isn't consuming more information. It's removing what isn't necessary. Part 5. Decision-making, where traders win or destroy themselves. A trader's life is the sum of decisions made under pressure, yet no one teaches traders how to decide. 3 mindset upgrades changed my trading completely. 1. Space before action. Impulsive decisions happen fast. Create a pause even minutes and decision quality changes. That pause is an emotional firewall. Breathing, checklist, risk review. Even a few minutes can save an account. 2. Second-order thinking. Not just, can this trade win, but, if I win or lose, what behavior will follow? Often, it's not the trade that kills you. It's the behavior after the trade. 3. Inversion. Don't ask, how do I make more money? Ask, what is making me lose money consistently? Most traders don't fail from lack of strategy. They fail from lack of execution consistency. You don't lack setups. You lack mechanisms that prevent you from breaking them. Part 6. The gap between knowing and doing. Trading is rich in knowledge, poor in transformation. Small actions, repeated consistently, always beat impulsive effort. Compounding applies not only to money, but to habits, discipline, and psychology. A simple habit like never moving stops repeated 100 times creates a new identity. Process replaces emotion and results follow. Most traders try to change with willpower. But environment always beats willpower. Consistent traders aren't more disciplined. They design systems where correct behavior is easier than wrong behavior. You don't fight the brain. You design around it. Part 7. Identity. The root of trading. Psychology. Most improvement efforts fail because they target behavior, not identity. When you say, I am a process-driven trader, discipline becomes natural. Goals say, I want. Identity says, I am. The deepest insight is this. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness observing them. At high levels, trading isn't emotionless. It's emotion-aware. Part 8. The wisdom, tax, and final message. Everything connects. Mental model, attention, decision, action, system, result, identity. The wisdom tax in trading is real. Most traders pay it with years and real money. You don't have to. Choose one insight that hits deepest and apply it in your next session. Because wisdom without action is just harmless information. The real question isn't, what strategy should I learn next? It's, what change am I willing to practice today? Sometimes you don't need a breakthrough. You just need to stop self-sabotage during a few decisive minutes.